Alright, so I'm ready to make a cross lap joint, but it could be a cross lap, an end lap, lots of different versions here. Let's take a look at some of the tools I'm going to use. I've got a marking gauge and a square, a back saw, and I've got a couple different size chisels. For those, I might use this traditional carving mallet. Of course, a pencil and a ruler or tape measure. And here's the piece of stock that I'm going to use. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to find the middle of the edge of my board here, and I'll do that with a marking gauge. Since I have a piece that's 3/4 of an inch thick, I'm going to set my marking gauge about at 3/8, but we can check that, see if we're in the middle, make a little mark there. Probably can't see that, but if we flip it around, we can see if that's the same mark. If you can see that mark there, that looks like it lines up pretty close. We can move this back just a bit, be a little more exact. Alright, so let's check it again. There's my mark. We'll flip it around, and there we go. That looks like we're on the same mark. Okay, so we'll strike a line down the edge, and I'll flip that over and down this edge. I can run my pencil in those marks for you. You can see that a little better. And again on this side. So the next thing I'm going to do now is locate roughly the center. Since I'm making a cross lap, we're about 10 inches. So the middle of that would be 5. And my second piece of wood is exactly the same width. So that's going to be about 7/8. We'll lay that out to each side. So now we've got 1 3/4 inch total measurement. We'll use the square to extend those lines. Make sure you hold it tight against the side there. And I'll bring those over the side. So you can see the piece that I'm going to take out. That's what I want to remove. This big part here, that's my waist. That's what I want to remove. So we'll start by setting that up in the vise. And now I'm going to take the back saw. I always want the saw to the waist side of my line, so that's going to be the inside. I'll start with my thumb over here. And I'll move that out. Or you could turn it around, whichever you prefer. Same step. Make sure you remove that thumb once you get started. We don't want to run our thumb over. Alright, so there's my 2 shoulders cut down to the line. Didn't go much past the line. So now I want to remove this center piece right here. And I'm going to start that by creating what I call the mountain. And the mountain is nothing more than the middle. There's my mountain. So as I chisel, I'm going to chisel halfway on an upward angle up the mountain. And I'm going to turn around and go the same up the mountain on this side. And then I'm going to switch to my wider chisel and flatten out that mountain. So here it goes. Now you can see I've got a hold of the chisel. I'm just letting a little piece stick out where my hand is. It's not way back here. I don't want to do that. I don't have good control if I'm going to do that.
Warning.
So I put my hand over the chisel. And a good sharp chisel will cut this pretty easily. If you have trouble, you could use a wood mallet, never a steel hammer. Alright, so there's half. So now I need to turn this around and work from the other side. Take off small layers. Take off all ones. Don't worry. Alright, so there's my mountain. You can see that this is a little higher in the middle than it is on the edges. We can take a look and see what that looks like from the edge. I'm right down to my line on each edge. So now I just need to remove this waste piece in the middle, and I'm going to use a wider chisel for that. You could use the same chisel, but eventually you'll need a wider chisel to flatten it out. So now to get this nice and smooth, I'm going to hold my chisel like this. Again, hold control of it, and I can shave the wood fibers. I'm not using the mallet, I'm using a different grip. I want to keep good control of my tool. And there we are. There's half of my half lap, or my cross lap. I need to repeat the same thing on the second piece and then fit the two together. You'll have to probably go back and forth between the two pieces to get it to fit really nice. What we're looking for is we want a nice flush feeling between the two pieces once it's put together. Good luck.